For 3 decades, Johnny Depp has stayed away from the glittering, cutthroat world of Paris Fashion Week. He's been a Hollywood outsider, a rebel, an icon who never seemed to care about the fashion elite's approval. But on October 1, 2025, that all changed. Depp made a stunning and rare appearance at the Christian Dior Spring/Summer 2026 show, sitting front row, fedora pulled low, draped in a gray double-breasted coat over a green plaid shirt, and baggy blue jeans that reminded everyone he's still the same misfit who once defined the 1990s. This wasn't just a celebrity appearance. This was a power move. A carefully orchestrated return. A full-circle moment for a man who was both destroyed and resurrected by scandal. But why now? Why Paris? Why Dior? Let's break down the deeper meaning behind Johnny Depp's Fashion Week comeback, and what it reveals about Dior, celebrity power, and the high-stakes game of legacy. The rare return. When Johnny Depp appeared at Paris Fashion Week, jaws dropped. This wasn't a casual sighting, it was a calculated placement, right in Dior's front row, among global fashion leaders, editors, and influencers. Fans immediately flooded social media with reactions, "The legend is back. Johnny Depp is untouchable. He hasn't aged a day, he's still got it." But beneath the applause, there's a reason this was such a shock. Johnny isn't a regular at fashion shows. In fact, his last major appearance at Paris Fashion Week was over 30 years ago, when he attended alongside then-girlfriend Kate Moss. That's right, decades have passed since Johnny played the role of a fashion insider. And that's what makes his 2025 comeback so powerful. After years of scandal, exile, and public scrutiny, Johnny didn't just come back to a Hollywood premiere. He came back to Paris Fashion Week, the most elitist, gate-kept stage in fashion. The message was clear: Johnny Depp isn't just back. He's reclaiming his place in the cultural hierarchy. The Dior connection. Depp's return wasn't random. Dior has been his strongest ally for the past decade. Since 2015, Johnny has been the face of Dior Sauvage, their men's fragrance. The ads, desert backdrops, wolf imagery, Johnny playing guitar, became iconic, embodying both danger and seduction. But the real story came in 2023, when Dior renewed Depp's contract in a staggering deal worth over $20 million, the largest in men's fragrance history. Variety reported it as a record-shattering pact, and fans saw it as a sign Dior wasn't abandoning Johnny, even when Hollywood seemed ready to. Why would Dior take such a risk? Remember, this was during the aftermath of Depp's explosive defamation trial against Amber Heard. Many brands would have dropped him to avoid controversy. But Dior doubled down. Some critics argued Dior was profiting from scandal, while supporters praised the brand for refusing to cancel Depp. Now, in 2025, Dior put him front row at Paris Fashion Week. The timing feels intentional, like Dior is saying, "We stood by him, and now he's back where he belongs." But here's the speculation: did Dior save Johnny's public image, or did Johnny save Dior's cultural relevance? Because let's not forget, Dior itself has faced years of declining cultural clout compared to edgier brands like Balenciaga or Gucci. And what better way to reassert dominance than to bring back a Hollywood legend everyone thought was gone? The Kate Moss era and fashion legacy. To understand the power of Johnny Depp's return, you have to go back to the 1990s, when he and Kate Moss were the ultimate couple. Their relationship was infamous, chaotic, and endlessly photographed. Johnny and Kate embodied the grunge glam aesthetic that defined the decade. They were young, beautiful, reckless, and fashion loved them for it. Paris Fashion Week was one of their stages. In those days, Johnny wasn't just a movie star, he was a rock star of fashion. He didn't walk runways, but his presence at Moss's side turned him into a style icon. Together, they represented rebellion wrapped in luxury. So when Johnny appeared at Paris Fashion Week in 2025, many couldn't help but see it as a callback to that era. Almost as if he was closing a circle, returning to the place where his fashion mythology began, but this time on his own terms. And the Kate Moss connection is still relevant. Moss remains a fashion icon, still booking campaigns, still tied to luxury houses. In many ways, Johnny's return feels like a parallel to her longevity, two rebels who refused to fade away, even as the industry chewed up and spat out countless others. The trial, cancel culture and redemption arc. Let's address the elephant in the room. Johnny Depp's career was derailed by the defamation trial against Amber Heard. For years, he was branded toxic, unhireable, and cancelled by Hollywood. He lost his role as Captain Jack Sparrow in Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean, was dropped from Fantastic Beasts, and endured a brutal smear campaign. But the trial flipped everything. His supporters rallied behind him, framing him as a victim of false allegations and cancel culture. His detractors argued he was still problematic, and the public debate raged on. Now, Paris Fashion Week is more than just a runway, it's a stage of global legitimacy. By seating Johnny Depp front row, Dior was making a statement. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't quiet. It was a bold rejection of cancel culture, a visual proclamation that Depp has been restored to elite status. And here's where speculation deepens: was this Dior's calculated strike against cancel culture? Fashion thrives on controversy. Sometimes, brands embrace scandal not despite the outrage, but because of it. In this case, Dior may have realized that Johnny Depp represents something bigger than fragrance sales. He represents rebellion, survival, defiance against being silenced, family ties and fashion dynasty speculation. Johnny Depp isn't just connected to fashion through Dior. His daughter, Lily-Rose Depp, is one of the most influential young models in the world, a longtime Chanel muse, and a front-row fixture at nearly every fashion event. It's impossible not to draw parallels. While Johnny stayed out of the spotlight for decades, Lily-Rose was carving out her own dynasty in fashion. Some fans speculate that his return to Paris Fashion Week was influenced by her success, almost as if the Depp family is cementing itself as a multi-generational force in fashion. Imagine this: Lily-Rose front row at Chanel, Johnny front row at Dior. Two generations, two fashion houses, one dynasty. Fashion thrives on legacy, and this could be Dior's way of tapping into that narrative. Meanwhile, Johnny's son Jack avoids the spotlight completely, preferring anonymity. This contrast only sharpens the focus on Johnny and Lily-Rose as the family's cultural ambassadors. Dior's risk and the bigger fashion power game. It's worth remembering, Dior didn't have to keep Johnny Depp. Many brands would have severed ties during the trial. But Dior didn't. And that decision may have paid off in ways no one expected. Paris Fashion Week is where power plays unfold. It's not just about clothes, it's about influence, politics, and global image. By putting Johnny Depp front row, Dior positioned itself as a brand that doesn't bow to pressure. A brand that embraces risk. But let's be real, fashion has always profited from scandal. From John Galliano's shocking dismissal to Balenciaga's ad controversy, outrage often fuels hype. By standing with Johnny Depp, Dior gained both controversy and loyalty. Speculation swirls that Dior may be leveraging Depp as a cultural weapon, a reminder that fashion isn't just about beauty. It's about rebellion, resilience, and dominance. Johnny's future in fashion and film. So what's next for Johnny Depp? His comeback at Paris Fashion Week hints at a bigger strategy. Already, rumors are swirling of new Dior campaigns, possible collaborations, and maybe even Johnny stepping into creative direction roles. And in film, Depp is slowly re-emerging too. His directorial project Modigliani is in development, and there are whispers of potential acting roles. His presence at Paris Fashion Week signals something larger. Depp is no longer on the sidelines. He's ready to step back into the spotlight, on his own terms. Could this be the beginning of a new Depp era, one where he straddles both Hollywood and fashion, becoming not just a movie star but a style legend in his own right? Conclusion, the symbolism of his return. Johnny Depp's reappearance at Paris Fashion Week wasn't just about clothes. It was about power. It was about legacy. It was about a man who endured scandal, exile, and near cancellation, only to come back bigger than ever. Paris Fashion Week is where culture is written. And by sitting in Dior's front row, Depp wasn't just watching a show. He was making one. So here's the real question, is Johnny Depp's Paris Fashion Week comeback the final act of a long redemption story, or the beginning of a whole new chapter? Because one thing is clear, Johnny Depp isn't fading into history. He's rewriting it.